Hello, my class 12th student. Today I'm going to start unit 2nd and chapter number 3rd. Topic is liberalization, privatization and globalization. Okay, from your book Indian Economic Development. Okay, so it is the starting of unit 2nd. In this chapter we are going to learn about economic reform since 1991. Okay, so in this chapter we are going to learn about the new economic policy. New economic policy means what? We are going to learn about LPG. We are going to learn about LPG, liberalization, privatization and globalization. These are known as a new economic policy. Okay, so when you start your third chapter, unit 2nd from NCERT book now, so in the beginning this is written. Okay, so when you learn this chapter, LPG, liberalization, privatization and globalization. Okay, so what you come to know, what you are able to understand, so you are understand four things. First is given understand the background of these reform policy introduced in India. So first thing that you come to know about learning this chapter, about after studying this chapter, is that what was the background. Because of that we adopted globalization, privatization and liberalization. Okay, second thing that you come to know about the mechanism through which new reforms were introduced. Okay, so how we changes our policy from LPQ to LPG. Now question is, what is LPQ? So L for licensing, P for permit and Q for quota. Remember, L for licensing, P for permit, Q for quota. Okay, and what is LPG? Liberalization, privatization and globalization. So till before the 1991, July 1991, which policy we are adopting? We are adopting LPQ. But after July 1991, which policy we are adopting? We are adopting LPG. So how we introduce? So that we are going to learn about this. This is the second outcome of this chapter. Okay, third thing we come to know, comprehension the process of globalization and its implication for India. Okay, globalization is not a new economic policy. Actually, it is the result of liberalization and privatization. Whenever a country is going to liberal means when there is free export and import. Okay, it is going to open up. Okay, and privatization means when there is more leading role is given to private sector. Okay, so this is known as a privatization. So whenever any economy is going to adopt liberalization, means there will be no restriction on export and import. Okay, and when there is leading role given to private sector, then its result will be what? Its result will be globalization. That economy become global. Okay, why? Because it is going to trade with all the country. Okay, it is going to trade with the all the country. There is no restriction. So because of that there will be there will be globalization. Okay, so we are going to come to know about the process of globalization. So how we become global, our culture is going to be changed. Okay, and there is metropolitan cities, there is totally new culture. Women's are going to get more dominant role in the society. Okay, they are free to work, free to learn. Okay, they are free to express their opinion. There is going to be nuclear family. People are more going to focus on about their growth. So these are the globalization, the process of globalization that we are going to learn here. Okay, the fourth thing that we come to know after studying this chapter is, be aware of the impact of the reform process in the various sector. Okay, so when we adopted the policy of liberalization, privatization, and in result we are going to be global. So how it is going to be affect various sector, agriculture sector, industrial sector, foreign trade sector. Okay, so here we are going to learn. Now So learning objective in detail, what was the content, what is the content of this chapter? So in this chapter we are going to learn about, first of all, introduction, second, region for economic reform, then the new economic policy. Within that we are going to learn main feature of new economic policy. Then we are going to learn liberalization. So within the liberalization we are going to learn industrial sector reform, financial sector reforms, tax reform, foreign exchange reform, trade and investment policy reforms. Okay, then we are going to learn about the privatization, after that globalization. So within this topic we are going to learn about positive and negative impact of globalization, outsourcing. It is very very important, and this time in this board examination one question has asked from outsourcing. Okay, World Trade Organization. Then we are going to learn about an appraisal of LPG policy, its positive impact and negative impact. So this is the content of this chapter. Now when you are going to start your third chapter, means unit second, from your NCERT book, so the first line of this chapter is the quotation of K.R. Narayana. Okay, here is written that there is a consensus in the world today that economic development is not all, and the GDP is not necessarily a measure of progress of society. Actually this statement is going to tell about the major fact that ki if in any economy there is a increase in GDP, there is increase in per capita income, but it is not a sufficient thing for a society. Why? Because when we are going to trade, because if you talk about the India, so India is what? India is following the policy of import substitution. Okay, so import substitution, what we are doing? We are doing that we are going to replace foreign goods with डोमेस्टिक गुड. ओके स्टूडेंट, मीन्स हम वो सारी कमोडिटीज़ को, सर्विसेज को जो हम प्रोड्यूस कर सकते हैं वो हम प्रोड्यूस करेंगे. ओके, वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू इम्पोर्ट. ओके, वी आर गोइंग टू इम्पोर्ट ओनली दोज गुड्स विच वी कैन नॉट प्रोड्यूस. हम केवल उसी का इम्पोर्ट करेंगे जिसे हम प्रोड्यूस नहीं कर सकते. ओके, तो मेजरली वी आर एक्सपोर्ट, वी आर नॉट फोकस ऑन एक्सपोर्ट. Just we want to produce all type of goods and services. Okay, and we are going to import only those goods which we are not able to produce. So which type of good we are not able to produce? Capital goods. Capital goods, what is capital goods? Those goods which are used in the process of production, like capital, equipment, machinery. Till today we are not able to produce defense good, we are not able to produce capital goods. Okay, so the price of capital goods are too high in compared to consumer goods. Okay, अगर आप मार्केट में मशीन परचेज करने जाते हो और दूसरी तरफ ब्रेड खरीदते हो, तो विच इज़ कॉस्टली? You can understand easily. Machines, equipment, tools, these are more expensive in compared to consumer goods. Consumer goods means what? All those goods we are using from morning to till night. Okay, so from the morning, whatever grocery item, whatever beauty product, whatever stationery item, whatever things you are using, cloth, bed sheet, TV, fridge, cooler, everything. So one side is consumer good and second side is capital goods. So whose price is going to be high? Capital goods. So what we are importing? We are importing capital goods. So obviously we have to pay money. Okay, if we want to purchase one machine from America, suppose we want to purchase one machine, that is X machine. Okay, from where? From America. Okay, so in America which currency is used? Dollar. Which currency is used? Dollar. Okay, so we have to pay dollar. If we are going to trade with an American trader, so if you are going to pay rupees, he is not going to receive it. What he will do with the rupee? Because it is not a currency of America, it is the currency of only India. The rupee is accepted only in India. Okay, so whenever if you want to purchase this X good from America, so you require what? You require dollar. You require dollar. So this is the basic reason. Because of that we have to change our policy from LPQ to LPG. Okay, because we are importing capital goods and we are not focusing about exporting the goods, so we are not having foreign exchange reserve, and ultimately the condition has come that we are not able, we are having just this much foreign exchange that we can purchase oil is very important thing now, petroleum product. The petroleum products and lubricants we can purchase only for 2 week. Okay student, so you can understand after 2 week India was not able to purchase these lubricants and petroleum product, and without these things you cannot run your industry, you cannot run your industry. Okay, so this was the crucial condition of India, and because of this condition, because of having less foreign exchange and because of too much debt. Okay, because whenever we are going to make the payment, we are going to borrow money from outside. Okay, so in this way the condition become too much crucial. So that time our economists were able to know that only increase in GDP is not sufficient for any society, for any economy. Because of that Narayan had written this. Okay, so here is given this introduction. After 40 years of the planned development, India has been able to achieve a strong industrial base and become self-sufficient in production of food grains. So these are the achievement of LPQ, license permit quota, that we are adopting. Okay, so what we are able to get from this LPQ, we are having a strong industrial base. Second thing, we are sufficient, self-sufficient in the production of food grains, means हम क्या थे, सेल्फ डिपेंडेंट थे. ओके, वी डोंट रिक्वायर टू इम्पोर्ट फूड ग्रेन्स. ओके, but a major segment of the population continue to depend upon the agriculture for their livelihood. So this is the drawback of this LPQ. There is not too much structural change. Okay, still majority of the people are getting their living from where? From agriculture sector. And whenever there are three sectors na beta, agriculture sector, secondary sector and manufacturing sector. If any economy majority of the people are getting their livelihood from agriculture sector, it is the sign of what? It is the sign of backwardness. In this way, after the 40 years still we are having the sign of backwardness. Why? Because majority of the people are dependent upon agriculture sector for getting their income. Okay, so this is the drawback. In 1991, a crisis in the balance of payment lead to introduction of economic reform in the economy. So I had told you now, because we are importing capital goods, so we have to pay lot of money, lot of foreign exchange. We are not having foreign exchange. Why? Because we are not exporting. How we are going to get the foreign currency? We cannot print foreign currency when we are going to sell our product in international market. So in return we get foreign currency. But that time our country, our government is not focused on export promotion. Okay, we are just focusing that we have to produce all type of goods in own country. Okay, so because of that there are too much of balance, disequilibrium in balance of payment, and there are very less foreign exchange we are having, and that is only for 2 week payment. So because of this condition, because of huge balance of payment, okay, and because of this we are required to change our policy from LPQ to LPG. Okay student, now pre-reform scenario or economics scenario in 1991. So what was the reason? Because of that we adopted LPG in place of LPQ. LPQ means license, permit and quota. Okay, so first thing there is written कि since the early days of independence we were economists to a highly protected economy. Okay, it's mean that ki initially we are totally a closed economy. Okay, we don't focus upon exporting the goods, producing and exporting. मतलब हम बेचने में ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट नहीं ले रहे थे, बस हम ये चाहते थे कि हम अपनी रिक्वायरमेंट के अकॉर्डिंग प्रोड्यूस कर सके. तो दैट इज़ वॉज ओनली आवर इंटरेस्ट. ओके, द इकोनॉमी वॉज कैरेक्टराइज्ड बाय द लार्ज स्केल इन्वेस्टमेंट इन द पब्लिक सेक्टर and comparatively lesser role of the private sector. The second important thing that we find is that there was too much investment in public sector. Actually that time public sector means government is not only doing production work, they are running hotels also. Everything minor to major work is done by the government. Okay, so that is why we find inefficiency of public sector. Okay, and there is given very control role to private sector. For controlling the private sector, there was Industrial Act 1951. There was Industrial Act 1951. Okay, I had told you now that there are threefold classification of industrial sector. The Schedule A is having 17 industries totally controlled by the government. Schedule B is having 12 industry. There is control of government, but secondary role is given to private sector. And left are in Schedule C, and that is for the private sector. And for controlling these industry, there was an act that is known as a Industrial Act 1951, that is known as a licensing system. Okay, so because of that there was too much investment in public sector, government sector, and there was controlled development of the private sector. So this is the next thing. Next, restriction on foreign direct investment. Okay, before the 1991, peoples were not allowed, outsiders, yeah, foreign investors are not allowed to come India and to invest their money. And they cannot do FDI, they can only allow to FII. Okay, so FDI means what? FDI means when there is ownership in the hand of the outsider. Okay, they can come and establish and they can run their own factories. No, that time this is not allowed. They can only purchase share and bonds. Okay, so this is known as a FII. Okay, foreign institutional investment. So only foreign institutional investment is allowed. FDI, foreign direct investment, that was not allowed that time. Means कोई भी बाहरी कंपनी आके यहाँ अपनी खुद की कंपनी नहीं चला सकती थी. They can only purchase share and bonds. That is all. This much only allowed for the foreign investor. So that is one more thing. Okay, regulation in order to protect domestic industry from international comparison. Okay, now you know now we are adopting the policy of import substitution. So in that we are we are using two things, tariff and quota. In tariff we are importing high tax on imported goods, and how much goods can be sell in India by the outsider, it is also fixed, that is known as a quota. So this was the condition. Okay, now result is what? Because of these policies, result is fiscal deficit, high level of internal and external debt burden, low capital formation, increasing burden of subsidies on the government, low FDI. Okay, and ultimately what is its result? Its result is in our country there is poverty, unemployment, inflation, black money, balance of payment disequilibrium, regional disparity, inefficiency and corruption. Okay, so whatever policy we had adopted before the 1991, that is LPQ. So result is that we are facing many problems: poverty, unemployment, inflation, black money, and ultimately we have to change our policy and we have to adopt a new economic policy. Okay, and here is given price of essential commodities were too much high, export were declining, foreign exchange reserve had declined to no more than 2 weeks. Only we are able to do trade, we are only able to purchase lubricants and petroleum product for only 2 weeks. After these 2 weeks, what is going to be happen in the country? Private or government sector, both are not able to run their industry. So that was the condition, and ultimately we require $7 billion loan from World Bank, okay, and they have this condition कि you have to change your policy from LPQ to LPG. Then only we are going to give you this much money as a loan. So in this way, we had not changed our policy. Okay, we had changed our policy in compulsory condition because of this is a condition of World Bank कि when you are going to adopt liberalization, privatization, then only we are going to give you this much money as a loan. So ultimately, India is not having any other option. So Indian government decided to change their policy from license, permit, quota to liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Okay. Now here is regions that is for adaptation, that is responsible for adaptation of new economic policy. So first is given poor performance of public sector. All the public sector means government sector. So all government sector are not working according to their efficiency. So that is why they are called as social dead weight. Public sector were called that time social dead weight. Okay, and there are too much burden on the government. People are not working, they have to pay salary. In this condition also, आज COVID-19 का effect है. They are not doing the job, they are not doing the work, but they are getting the salary. So in government sector, the people are only having one thing कि they have to receive the money. They want to only receive the salary, but they don't want to do the work according to the requirement, according to their efficiency. Only few people who are doing their work with honesty, with their efficiency, but majority of the people are not doing. And this is the basic reason. Because of that, government sector that time is not working according to its efficiency. Okay, and because of that there are too much corruption. Okay, because there are too much corruption, and there was too much burden on the government in the form of salary payment. Okay, in this way these public sector are called social dead weight. Remember this term, social dead weight. Okay, second thing is deficit in balance of payment. Second thing is deficit in balance of payment. Okay, when you learn your macroeconomics now, so you come to know about in detail what is balance of payment. In simple line, balance of payment is a accounting statement that is related to inflow of foreign exchange and outflow of foreign exchange. In simple language, it is a double sided entry. One side we write debit and second side we write credit. Okay, in credit we write inflow of foreign currency, in debit we will write outflow of foreign currency. Okay, so when there is a deficit in balance of payment, when our export is less than our import, it's mean that when we are making more payment in compared to our receipt. Okay, so this condition is known as a deficit, when our receipts are less in compared to payment. Suppose we are earning 100 rupees from export, but we are paying 300 rupees that we are purchasing. So in this way there is deficit. There is inflow of money of 100 and outflow of money of 300. Okay, so there is deficit of how much? 200. So this is known as a deficit in balance of payment. Okay student, so deficit in balance of payment arise when foreign payments for import exceed foreign receipt from export. Even after importing, having tariffs and fixing quota, there was a sharp rise in imports. I had told you now in the introduction कि what we are doing, we are importing capital goods. We are not able to produce capital goods, we are importing it from outside, from developed country. Okay, and as much as there is a increase in industrial sector, so we require more machines. Okay, we require more tools, we require more equipment, and we are not able to produce in own country. So what is requirement? Its requirement is that we are going to import it from outside. Okay, so that was written here. So our import is rising. On the other hand, there was slow growth of export due to low quality and high price of Indian good. One more thing, whatever consumer goods we are producing, whatever consumer goods we are producing that are too much expensive and their quality is also low. So because of that, in international market, the demand of Indian goods are not rising. On the other hand, we are importing too much. Okay. Now, next is a reason, a continuous and increased fiscal deficit. Okay, so uh, that is explanation of that topic. So fiscal deficit means what? It refers to borrowing of the government on account of excess of its expenditure over revenue during a year. So when we feel fiscal deficit, the fiscal deficit is actually related to government expenditure and government receipt. Okay, sorry, this is okay, government receipt. Okay, so whenever this condition exists, so there is deficit. Okay, there is deficit. Suppose government is earning 100 rupees and government is expending 400. So in this way there is expense of 300 more expenditure done by the government. Why we are expending more in compared to our income? Because we are a developing country, so lot of work government have to do, lot of infrastructure development government have to do. So because of that there is deficit. Okay. Okay, so fiscal deficit refers to borrowing of the government on account of excess of its expenditure over revenue during a year. It is measured as a percentage of GDP. It is not healthy for an economy to have high fiscal deficit. Okay, if such borrowing are meant to finance non-development program by the government, it might result in inflationary trend. During the 1990 to 91, the fiscal deficit has rise to 8.4% of GDP. So remember this point. Okay, next is given high rate of inflation, especially sharp rise in the price of essential good. Okay, so food grains, only the price of food grains has decreases. If you talk about other goods that we are using as a normal good, so their price are increasing. Okay, so that is given here. Despite the price of food grain, inflation which has begun to accelerate in 1990 to 91, okay, had reached a peak level of 16.7% in August 1991. It's mean ki the price of majority of goods has increases 16.7%. Okay, so it is too much increase. Okay, now next is huge burden of debt. So already Indian government is taking borrowing from within the country plus from outside the country. Because of that, they have to make the payment, they have to make to payment of interest also, they have to reback the loan also. So because of that, there is too much huge burden of debt. Okay, inefficient management, this is the last point. Okay, so the origin of the financial crisis can be traced by inefficient management of the Indian economy. The government was not able to generate sufficient revenue for internal source such as taxation, running of public sector enterprises. So basic failure of the government till the 1991 that कि गवर्नमेंट इनकम जनरेट नहीं कर पा रही थी. ठीक है, और इनकम जनरेशन का बेसिक सोर्स क्या होता है? टैक्स होता है. ओके, और पब्लिक सेक्टर अंडरटेकिंग्स यानी पब्लिक सेक्टर. सो बोथ इन बोथ द फील्ड फ्रॉम टैक्सेस फ्रॉम रनिंग public sector enterprises. Okay, so government is not able to generate sufficient revenue that it require. Okay, second drawback, yeah, inefficiency is government expenditure is increasing day by day, but its income is not increasing in that ratio. Third is given कि our foreign exchange borrowed from other country and international financial institution was spent on meeting consumption needs. Okay, one more thing, whatever borrowing मतलब उधार लेना, loan लेना. Okay, so whatever loan is taken by the government from outside the country, they are using it on non-productive activities. Non-productive activities means for maintaining the law order, for making the payment of government employees. Okay, so for judiciary system, for defense system, so these are non-productive activities. So this is one more drawback, are inefficient management. Okay, so because of these condition, not having sufficient amount of foreign exchange reserve, public sectors are not working properly. Okay, private sector are not doing properly, private sector are not actually allowed. Okay, and we government is taking too much borrowing within the country plus outside the country, and these borrowings are used where in uneconomic activity. Okay, in economic activities, it is not used for increasing the production of goods and services. It is used where it is used for making the payment. Okay, like that. So ultimately result is that ki we are have to change our policy. So crisis of 1999 forced India for financial help from IMF, International Monetary Fund, and World Bank. To manage the economic crisis of 1991, Indian government approached the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, IBRD. That is the full name of World Bank, and this question has been asked in this board examination. इस बार ये question आया था. And the International Monetary Fund, and received $7 billion as a loan. But IMF and World Bank has not given this much loan without any reason, without any condition. They had condition. Okay, what is the condition that is written? Okay, for availing the loan, these international agency expected India to liberal and open up the economy by removing restrictions on private sector, reducing the role of government in many areas, removing trade restrictions. So in this way, these IMF and World Bank compel government of India to reduce, totally abolish licensing, permit and quota, the policy of licensing, permit and quota, and to adopt liberalization, privatization and globalization. India agreed to the condition of World Bank and IMF and announced the new economic policy, because India is not having any other option. There was only foreign exchange reserve for only 2 weeks. Okay, after 2 weeks we are not able to make the payment. Okay, we are not able to purchase anything from outside. Okay, and in this way we are required this much loan, and this loan is only given in that condition कि you are going to change your LPQ by LPG. In this way we had changed our policy, that is known as a new economic policy. New economic policy means liberalization, privatization and globalization, and that is in the place of licensing, permit and quota. Okay student, thank you. I know these things are not very easy, but no doubt you learn your chapter, go through your chapter, read it 2 or 3 times and listen this video 1 or 2 times. Then only you are able to understand this chapter, and this year you are going to give board examination. Be serious, learn properly. You are getting the opportunity to understand anything by your own self. Okay, whenever there will be classroom teaching, so I'm going to solve all the doubts and problem that you are facing, but obviously this is the time when you have to give it to your study. Okay, because you have to give board examination, there is no other option. Okay student, so please work hard, complete your written work, learn your chapter, read your chapter, try to understand. Okay, if you are having any problem you can write in comment. Okay, comment box. Okay, thank you.